Labour's ruling body, the National Executive Committee, or NEC, meets today. Not normally a major news event, I grant you, but it's the first meeting of the NEC since the election of 3 new members, most notably the Momentum founder, John Landsman. So what does it all mean? Well, our correspondent Ian Watson is outside Labour headquarters. So what is being discussed, Ian?
Well, there's various things, Joe, which are on the agenda. What isn't being discussed actually is this demonstration behind me, people who are against expulsions from the Labour Party. I'm sure we can talk about that in a moment. What is officially in the agenda, Labour officials are stressing, are mainstream political issues such as the state of the NHS, the collapse of Carillion, but there's a couple of other issues on the agenda as well. First of all, there's a report back from the first phase of Labour's democracy review. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's a long-term review looking into how the party organises at every level. It will report to this year's Labour Party conference. But there has been some speculation it might also be used as a vehicle to try to deselect sitting Labour MPs. Well, that's not officially part of its remit. So any discussion that takes place on that would be outside of the official democracy review. However, it may well change dramatically what the Labour Party does in terms of organising at grassroots level in due course. The second thing, which I think is also of interest, is there's going to be a discussion, we're told, about whether there can be transgender candidates on all-women shortlists. This has been discussed at some subcommittees of the Labour Party before. It's controversial because some people in the party believe that men should not be allowed to self-define as women and get onto all-women shortlists, and they should, in their view, have to produce a gender recognition certificate. Others say that that's discrimination, and we're expecting a statement from Labour's ruling body later on this afternoon. That will be the first sign that the political balance has decisively shifted to the left, but we're probably not going to have any more evidence of that from today's official agenda.
Right, now tell us about this campaign, Labour Against the Witch Hunt, which is being launched.
Well, that's right. The campaign, which is behind me, launched actually a few months ago. They're lobbying the NEC to try to stop the expulsions of people they say are being thrown out of the party for having effectively left-wing views, people that may have been to the left of Labour in the past, in its play right past, and then wanted to come into the Labour Party, genuinely they would say, to support Jeremy Corbyn, and are now being chucked out because of views they may have expressed in the past. Fundamental to this is actually the question of anti-Zionism versus anti-Semitism. The arguments they're making is that these two issues are being conflated, and some of the people here are being accused of anti-Semitism, they say, in order to get them expelled from the Labour Party. You'll be speaking to one of them very soon, whose case, I'm told, is coming up at Labour's National Constitutional Committee, not today's Labour National Executive Committee, and they'll be deciding at that meeting whether there'll be any expulsions, not today.
All right, Ian Watson, thank you. Well, as Ian mentioned, the group calling itself Labour Against a Witch Hunt is lobbying today's NEC meeting to demand an end to what they call a witch hunt against the pro-Corbyn left in the Labour Party. Jackie Walker is among them. She was suspended by the party in September 2016 following allegations of anti-Semitism, and she's here in the studio. Jackie Walker, one of the things that resulted in your current suspension of your Labour Party membership was you said that I still haven't heard a definition of anti-Semitism that I can work with. Now, the Labour Party's adopted the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism. Do you accept that as a definition you can work with?
Well, actually, it's not clear what it has accepted. What we've been told is that it's accepted the headline definition.
Which is anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews.
And of course we would accept that. What we don't accept are the following definitions, which, as far as we're concerned, link too much criticism of Israel with racism, with anti-Semitism.
Right, so the rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, towards Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. You accept that?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm saying this as an anti-racist trainer of some years, as somebody who has actually been on the barricades against fascists, I like to stick to the nice, simple definition of anti-Semitism used by Professor Klug, which is hatred against Jews because they are Jews. I think as soon as you get into the territory of having long subclauses afterwards, you're into very, very cloudy waters. And in fact, we have had Council's opinion which says that those following definitions will not hold up in court.
Right, but shouldn't parties be able to set their own definitions and rules? They may be a broad church, as the Labour Party always says, but they have the right to suspend people who don't sign up to their broad principles and aims, including you.
Absolutely, they
right.
have.
Well, that's what they've done. So what's your problem?
No, they have the right to do that. But, of course, what I'm saying is that they haven't accepted the full definition in terms of
that is what the Labour Party has said. The Labour Party have accepted that as the definition. If you don't sign up to that, do you accept they have a right to suspend you?
I don't accept that what you're saying is correct.
Right, well, then you need to speak to the Labour Party.
I have to tell you, as a member of Jewish Voice for Labour, and as a member of other Jewish Labour affiliated, not affiliated, but organisations, we have been told something very different.
Right. Well, that may be something you need to take up with the Labour Party.
The truth about this, the reason we're having this conversation is that under Jeremy Corbyn's leadership, we've seen the rise of a nasty, violent language on social media, campaigning in the last election against Conservatives and others. There's anti-Semitic language, there's racist language. You have Clive Lewis saying, "Get down on your knees, bitch," at the conference. There is a nasty, misogynistic, intolerant strain to the old left, and we're seeing it come back. A once great party is being dismantled by a radical movement.
Can I actually say, because I think that is outrageous.
It is outrageous that it's happening.
Coming from a party who has a foreign secretary who has made racist statements about the ex-president of the United States, Barack Obama, and called people of African descent pickaninnies with watermelon smiles.
Is that racist?
It's not racist. The underlying issue with racism is, are people actually racist in their views about people? Boris Johnson is not. He uses inappropriate language sometimes. The Labour Party is in bits because it is deeply under Corbyn, under this hard left. We're seeing the resurgence of a nasty, vitriolic politics, online particularly. I have Conservative colleagues, women who are targeted because they're women. People writing horrible things on their houses and their windows.
Do you know
and the Labour Party's got to get a grip of that.
Do you know what's been said about me?
Answer the claims that have been made, because they're not just made by George Freeman, but claims made against elements within Momentum and elements on what people call the hard left. Do you accept that that exists?
Look, what I accept exists at the moment is a very dangerous atmosphere and culture on social media. If I could tell you how many threats and abuse that I've had, including from people who claim to be Tory members, and these have been threats to have me hanged, to have me burned alive, to have me raped. So this is
send
happening.
Them to me.
Sorry, can I finish?
If they are Tory members, they should be dealt with, but they're not.
Let me finish. Let me finish,
will you send
please.
them to him?
I will send them to him.
You.
Right? But, I mean, this is happening, and it's happening in particular to women and black women. Well, Diane Abbott, if you remember, has had more abuse than anybody else as an MP.
And we've done that. But, Jackie, let's talk about your suspension, because you are fighting this suspension. You've called it a witch hunt. But all of this has happened while Jeremy Corbyn's been leader.
Exactly.
And the Momentum Steering Committee removed you as Vice Chair, calling your behaviour irresponsible and remarks offensive. So it cannot be a politically motivated witch hunt. These are the people you support.
Can I just say one thing about this? I have to be very careful what I say.
Sure.
For the
but could you answer that question?
I am going to, because of the reasons you say. My case is just about to go through a hearing, and I'm not allowed to answer particularly on it. But can I say...
But why do you... But you are calling it a witch hunt.
It is not coincidence that it happened as Jeremy Corbyn became a leader of the Labour Party, because, of course, he is the only national figure that's risen to that prominence who has been a supporter of the Palestinians.
But why is it a witch hunt when it's happened under him?
Right.
It's because the Labour Party is not one set dictated piece of organisation. You have the administration and the offices of the Labour Party, you have the Parliamentary Labour Party, and you have the members.
Now led by a man who
We've run out of time.
Hezbollah.
Jackie Walker, thank you very much. Just quickly.
We will make America great again.